The 3DS in 2024. 13 years later, does it hold up? Is it worth it? Should you buy it? Well, let's find out. So, to give you a quick recap of its history, the 3DS was first revealed in E3 2010 by Nintendo president at the time, Satoru Iwata, to be Nintendo's shiny new console capable of displaying stereoscopic 3D without the need of 3D glasses, which definitely got everyone hyped up until its release on February 26, 2011. It did have a rocky start at first, but eventually picked up steam and was acclaimed by many, solidifying its place in gaming history forever. And here we are, 13 years later in 2024, and this thing is still frequently talked about. So what does make it such a good console? Well, from a hardware point of view, while it ain't anything groundbreaking, it still does pack a punch. Featuring two dual screens with the top one displaying the 3D and the bottom one being a touchscreen, you got your D-pad, circle pad, A, B, X and Y, start, select, home, volume and 3D sliders, and for the new line of 3DS and 2DS consoles, the C-Stick, which is basically a second joystick. And on the contrary of how it might look, it's actually pretty damn accurate. Now of course, the hardware varies from system to system. You got your original 3DS, the 3DS XL, 2DS, new 3DS XL, which is the version I personally own, and finally the new 2DS XL. Now I won't be talking about every single one of them, but what I will be doing is telling you which system would be suitable for which case. Now let's dig into the meaty part of any console, the software, or well, the games. So out of the box, the 3DS does offer a few things to mess around with, like the camera, the audio recorder, Mii Maker, Face Raiders, the AR games, Street Pass, and finally the eShop, which is now sadly gone. You used to be able to download 3DS games, DLC, eShop exclusives, and of course retro games via the Virtual Console, which included systems like the NES, SNES, Game Boy Color, and even the Game Gear. Now for the actual 3DS games themselves, this is where the console truly exceeded most of the competition at the time, with games like Super Mario 3D Land, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, Animal Crossing New Leaf, Pokemon Sun, Mario Kart 7, Kirby Planet Robobot, Kid Icarus Uprising, Tomodachi Life, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Bravely Default, Fire Emblem Awakening, Harvest Moon A New Beginning, and much more. And on top of that, you can play the entire DS library. So now that we talked about the console's history, different versions, and game library, let's ask ourselves the fabled question: should you buy a 3DS in 2024? Well, yes actually, and I think now is the perfect time to invest in one, cause the prices just seem to be getting higher and higher with no signs of stopping. Now, here's a neat tip while looking for a used 3DS. Try to look for Japanese models, as they tend to be relatively cheaper than most North American ones. Now keep in mind though, they are region locked, which means that they cannot play any North American game and the language is stuck to Japanese. But there is a very easy fix to bypassing the region lock, which comes in the form of modding. Speaking of modding, the 3DS modding community is currently standing very strong with a ton of support. So let's say you decided to spend a pretty penny and invest in a 3DS. Which version would be best for you? Well, I would say if you're on a budget, go with the original model or the 2DS, but I would recommend the original, as you would be really missing out on the 3DS magic with the 2DS. Even though I'm pretty sure most people turn the 3D on for like 5 minutes and go, oh, that's cool, and then turn it off and never think of it again. Now, if you're willing to spend a bit more for the best experience possible, I would say any of the new systems. Maybe lean more to the XLs, as they are more comfortable to hold. And that is the Nintendo 3DS in 2024. Truly a magical console that is worth going back to and enjoying. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.